All hail Biafra. This is Biafra Liberation Army Network coming to you again. Please do subscribe, like, share, and comment.
Is happening today. Today is actually marking, the beginning of a revolution. There will be a lockdown, in every secretariat, barrack, and places being controlled by the zoo, government houses, and the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa has come out to give a stern warning to those who are working within that vicinity. If you know you're working around government houses or in government house and some certain places like places belonging to state actors and non-state actors, please, you should be careful. It's better you sit at home, Maka Uvumka statement. Now, without wasting any more of your time, we're going to go to a very critical issue. I'm going to drop a short clip of the DSS former boss. He's now a former boss. And why I'm happy about this is that this man, Bishi, is the man who has been responsible for the abduction of, in fact, he was the person they used, during the abduction of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And not just that, Bishi has done a lot against the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, when people do some certain things, they forget that they are only human. They forget that they are not God. I want you to see the kind of jubilation that even me, I was even surprised. Was this man that evil to the extent that people were rejoicing on his behalf? I want you to watch this video. Then before we give you the news update today, because while the lockdown is going on, the Nigerian government is busy finding a way to extradite the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. It is actually unfortunate that Nigeria does not even have a stand, in anything that has to do with the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, because it is becoming too shameful that the so-called country called the Zoological Republic of Nigeria are busy pursuing shadows instead of them to sort out the issue that is happening in their land. For example, we saw a video that is trending. In fact, VDM, very dark man, even had to speak concerning this issue currently. And this has been the same thing that Onyindu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started speaking. The Prime Minister Simon Ekpa is fighting the terrorist Nigerian army because of this. The DSS are busy, abducting innocent people, but yet they cannot track ordinary bandits who are living in the bushes. Look at the video trending on social media. People are using it to make caricature that these bandits, this is not the first time actually, now the second time, came out on came out on TikTok and were videoing themselves, where they were showing the ransom money they collected from people they kidnapped. One, and also in that same viral video, they were busy insulting their so-called president in the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yet the DSS cannot track them. The army cannot track them. It is innocent Biafrans, innocent, harmless Biafrans, we no commit any atrocity, we no commit any crime. Now him these people they pursue. But first of all, let us watch this clip of celebration when the information of Bishi, that is the former DSS boss, went viral. Enjoy. Then we'll come out and give you the news update before we hand over the mic to the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa on this important notice to Biafrans. All right, without wasting much of your time, let us go straight up to the news before we hear from the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa's update, immediate and emergency broadcast for Biafra. Breaking news. Federal government seeks Simon Ekpa's extradition from Finland over Biafran declaration. They have started again. The news in detail. The Nigerian federal government has initiated diplomatic efforts through the European Union (EU) to facilitate the extradition of Simon Ekpa from Finland, according to Major General Edward Buba, Director of Defense Media Operation. These actions follows Ekpa's recent announcement that December 2nd, 2024 will be the official date for the declaration of Biafra and the presentation of his map. In response to Ekpa's social media statement, General Buba highlighted that while military operations against the indigenous people of Biafra and the Eastern Security Network will persist, the government is simultaneously working through diplomatic channels to ensure Ekpa is brought to justice. Simon Ekpa, who we all know is the Prime Minister of the Biafran government, he is the one, handling the mantle for Biafran freedom. And whether they like it or not, that freedom will definitely come as quickly as possible. While the Nigerian government are busy finding a way to extradite an innocent man who is only fighting and defending his people, the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa gave an important address to Biafran. Please make sure you watch this address and share this video to as many groups and platforms as possible. Enjoy.
World. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the press that are gathered here today in your different location to listen to this emergency space today. Good evening, members of the cabinet of the Biafra Republic government in exile and the de facto government in homeland. I welcome every one of you who have worked assiduously for this particular history that we are making today. I have come once again, my fellow Biafrans, to inform all of you where we are going, what we intend to achieve, and how we are going to achieve it. I want to inform you all that tomorrow is going to be the beginning of the history, the beginning of the eviction of Nigeria terrorist state within the Biafra land, the beginning of the Biafra freedom, the beginning of the liberation of the Biafra people from the Islamic slavery, from the evil entity called Nigeria. Tomorrow will be the beginning of the litmus test that the Biafra government, both in exile and in homeland, will embark on to test our resolve. How prepared we are, not about militarily, but mentally, physically, and otherwise. My fellow Biafrans, may I announce to you today a very groundbreaking news which is already going viral on social media, print media, and other media platforms, both the terrorist state of Nigeria control platforms, and of course soon to be noted in international platform as well, that Biafra has recorded, officially counted, registered 50 million votes from our self-referendum. This is a history no other country has ever attained. I want you to note that no country in the history of freedom fighting has ever conducted a referendum and recorded this number of supporters, compliance, and people who are very tired of the host state, which is Nigeria today. I am very happy, very optimistic that from tomorrow, the Biafra people will speak in one voice, especially those who found themselves being used by the Nigeria state and their enablers in Biafra land. And all they do is to use them for years. There is no promotion, there is no health insurance, there is no good pay, salary, there is no good insurance system, there is no good I would say, a retirement benefit. There is nothing to be proud of or to put your hope on after you have served Nigeria and you retire. And so those of you who happen to be one of those in this generation that you see, many of us have sacrificed everything, including our Nkwobi and Ishewu and all those things you enjoy back home. We sacrifice it to stay in exile, to fight for you and for your future, so that you can have good road, so that you can have good job, so that when you retire, you will have your retirement benefit, so that you'll be paid very well, also as somebody working in Biafra government, so that you will have the reason to be a good patriotic citizen of Biafra, so that your children can grow and have hope. And so that you are going to have a society where the government will take responsibility both in the security of property and life, making sure our women are not being butchered, making sure our children are not getting killed. So, my fellow Biafrans, the road to that freedom will begin tomorrow. What do we intend to gain? What do we intend to achieve from this 30 days lockdown of Nigeria institutions in Biafra land? What we try to achieve are as follows. We are trying to delegitimize Nigeria within Biafra territory. It is part of the struggle for the international recognition in accordance with the Montevideo Convention of Statehood. We are trying to prove to the world that Nigeria has lost every legitimacy to govern the people of Biafra. We are trying, and the Biafra people has lost confidence, and we are furthering this particular confidence that they have lost on Nigeria. We also want to use the opportunity to show to the world that only alternative is the Biafra government, which the people are loyal to. We want to also use the opportunity to prove to the world that Nigeria has failed to solve its political and economic crisis that has befallen the country, and the country has become a failed nation. We want to prove to the international community that the Biafra are well organized and they are ready to provide solutions to the problem that Nigeria could not solve, especially to the Biafra people, so that those who we are going to leave behind, like the Afonjas, who claim to be educated, but the Biafra person was the first professor in their land, so that they will learn from the doggedness and the bravery of the Biafra people. I want you to understand that the killing of Biafrans during the war, which they are using as a tactics, as a tool to kill the spirit and the morale of Biafrans, we have defeated that particular tactics, which they will always remind you, were you born during the war? Did you not see how children died? Oh, there was hunger. Do you have food? All those nonsense they have used to instill fear on our people, we have actually defeated that fear. Today, Biafra are standing gallantly facing these monsters and terrorists that call themselves state. My fellow Biafrans, we have prepared you for the past 3 years to what is to come from tomorrow. The reason we embarked on countless and countless civil disobedience of sit at home, and the terrorist state and their enablers in Biafra land were busy struggling how to suppress the civil disobedience of sit at home, because they know where we are going. Today, what we have prepared you for, it is time to write exam. This particular lockdown is not applicable to businesses, is not applicable to traders, is not applicable to hospitals, is not applicable to schools. It is only applicable to the secretariat, police stations, and barracks. We are starting from there. If you know you work there, from tomorrow, stay in your house, because you will be used as a propaganda machine when they have killed you. in order to blame Simon Ekpa. Nobody's going to listen to you. We are at war officially with Nigeria. So if you die, you become a victim of the war. The war, as of today, is not conventional war. And I would like to remind you, I didn't say it. The Chief of Defense Staff, Musa, have on several occasions confirmed that they are at war with Biafra. In the first he mentioned that he is fighting guerrilla warfare. Secondly, he mentioned they were fighting jungle warfare. And then thirdly, he confirmed that they are now fighting asymmetric warfare. I did not say all these things. He said it. So what I'm trying to tell you now is that no matter how they try to cover this asymmetric warfare, which was the last thing he mentioned, that particular asymmetric warfare is happening in Biafra land. Do not fall a victim of stray bullet. When the Biafra Defense Forces, the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Resistance Fighters will be engaging these terrorists, our plan is to push them out of Biafra land. It does not matter how many years it is going to take. Even one of the Afonja actually explained I'm not going to call it, but they know exactly the kind of war that we have, we are facing within the Nigeria terrorist state. They will be the one to be mentioning it. They will be the one to be saying it. All we have to do is to make sure our women and children are defended. They have come with all manner of propaganda telling you, oh, you are bringing insecurity to Biafra land. He is the one causing problem. He is the one bringing the military and all that. All those lies, does not last long. And I have asked them, when they were killing people in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's house, I was not a IPOB member. I was not even a Biafra agitator. I was not even part of the Biafra. I joined in 2019. Before I joined, thousands of Biafra has been killed. Thousands of Biafra has been adopted by the Nigeria terrorist state. Before I joined Biafra struggle, thousands of Biafra have died in detention. It was not Simon Ekpa. And what I'm trying to do today is to make sure that the atrocities committed against Biafra people before I even joined the Biafra struggle is revenged. Number one, we must revenge the killings of Biafrans in the 60s. Today, nobody has been tried in any court internationally as for war crime. For the crime of genocide, which is the highest crime that have committed after the Holocaust, nobody has been tried in Nigeria. We will take that law into our hand by defending our land today. In the 21st century, the mark of that, the wound of that killings of Biafra is very, very, very glaring on us today. And what we have to do is to teach lesson to those who have killed us and still bragging after 50 years. After 50 years, they have put a system that have disenfranchised every Biafran, that have marginalized us, that have put poverty as the only inheritance as a Biafran under Nigeria. They enacted a law that made sure that every resources that come from Biafra land is being controlled in Abuja by the Fulanis, while the natural resources like gold in the north is being controlled by them. How can you live in a country such as this, where there are two laws, where they have restructured the country, and in the north they are practicing Sharia law, controlling their own natural resources, the gold, and the gold that they found in Zamfara belong to Zamfara state, while natural resources in Biafra land belong to the federal government? How do you reconcile that? My fellow Biafrans, this is not the first time they are giving loan or loaning money from outside the country and the Biafra land was excluded. During the time of DK Kurimano that is serving jail term in London today, they collected loan from China and not Southeast was excluded from that loan. Today, they have also excluded the Southeast and South part of Biafra in the student loan, which is even a very good development, because before, during the time they shared the loan from China, they gave at least 1 small percent to the South then, because then it was not clear whether these people have been deceived or not. My fellow Biafrans, during the time of Obasanjo, when the 6th geopolitical zone was created, in order to divide the Biafra people, divide us into pieces so that they will tell you that the 5 eastern states is the Biafra they are fighting for. My brothers and sisters, today we have defeated them by defining our map, and that map is undisputed. The only time this particular map of 40 states will be disputed is when we are at the United Nations. When the United Nations will come, if they like, and we are going to again challenge any alteration of this map to the highest level. So everyone today who is very proudly finding himself or herself in the map of 40 states of Biafra must understand that you are going to be protected at all costs. We are not going to cede not even 1 quarter or not even 1 plot of that map to anywhere. You are going to be protected by the Biafra government. I will make sure that everything we do today is using true democracy, not by dictatorship. We have conducted self-referendum, which is still ongoing, and the people scattered all over these 40 states has spoken today, over 50 million of them. 50 good million. How many were you in the Nigeria general election? Because the people are tired and they are no longer interested in Nigeria. Only 25 million. Today we have doubled that number. And this has further shown that not only that these people disenfranchise us, there is no data. It was on purpose. They made sure that there is no data so that they will continue to tell lies about your population. Biafra, we are going to have one of the world-class database systems just like Finland. My brothers and sisters and my fellow citizens of Biafra, I promise you that I am bringing Finland to Biafra. And what does that mean? What it means is that I am bringing a system of government where your right will be protected. I am bringing a system of government where if you do not have money, the government will care for you. I am bringing a system of government where you can stay in your home and cast your vote. I am bringing a system of government where you are going to have a world-class and world-standard national insurance scheme where you can go to hospital and without dropping any deposit, the hospital will treat you. You are going to be examined with the world-class, state-of-the-art machines and facilities. That is the kind of system I'm bringing. I am bringing Finland to Nigeria, to Biafra, and after that, every other thing about security will be a bygone. I am bringing Finland to Biafra, where the political parties will have their elections and the people will make their choice without anybody carrying gun to kill each other. I am bringing a system where you can never forge our national identity card nor the Biafra passport. I am bringing a system of government where you are going to travel as a Biafran, and whenever you present your ID card or passport, the or immigration authority will already know that Biafra is built on the marble and on stone, that nobody can forge and present their identity card on or the international passport. I am bringing Finland to Biafra. It is going to be a system where when you answer yes, your yes is yes. Not when you answer yes, somebody will go and start investigating it, whether it was supposed to be no. I am bringing a sense system, what is going to be the beginning of the civilization in Africa. That is exactly what I'm bringing to the Biafra people. And I know they understand this. I have promised them several times, I am bringing Finland to Biafra. Today, everything the Biafra Republic government in Ezra has done is exactly the system of Finland. We have adopted the national ID card, which is going to have a very highly secured e-ID card that has the same feature with the European Union ID card. Are you aware of that? Are you aware that the security features of our national ID card as a government in exile and a de facto government who is yet to gain independence. The security future is the same standard with the European Union. That's where we are starting. Very expensive, but it is worth doing. What this means is that the database system of Biafra is going to be as strong as the Schengen system. What it means is that the system I am bringing to Biafra is where we will go into agreement and negotiation with other world powers and other countries that if you must do business with us, you are going to respect our citizens, respect their international traveling document, where we are going to go into agreement to understand that we need each other and actually they need us more than we need them. So if as a Biafran, you are going to travel to many countries visa-free. I am promising Biafra people that by the special grace of God, I am bringing a system of government where you are going to be more valued than all these countries that are issuing visa or citizenship on investment, where you can travel over 120 something countries when you have their international passport. Biafra is going to be more and better than them. We have something they never had. But today, they are respected because of the system they have built. Because they have a very secure system where the citizens of those countries are respected all over the world. My fellow Biafrans, believe me, you will have one day visa free to America. You will be begged to travel to America and you will have no reason to travel to America except when you want to go on holidays. And many of you will not even go to holidays because you are going to have that thing they have in America in Biafra land. My fellow Biafrans, I want to inform you that today we have a very high level meeting with developers that are already interested in building more than Dubai in Biafra land. I am just overwhelmed and too happy this evening that such is happening. That is the dream I have for the Biafra people. A lot of investors are already coming, knocking at our door. When are we coming? When are we coming? Is it after December? When should we start? The investment they are running, those investors that are running away from Nigeria, they are knocking at our door. And I promise them that from the December 2nd, we are going to have a very long way because I know Nigeria is not going to give up very easily. But one thing I promise them is that it doesn't matter how long it takes. If it takes us 10 years to fight Nigeria after December 2nd, we are ready. If it takes us 20 years to fight Nigeria after December 2nd, we are ready. I have listened to so many people who were talking rubbish on social media, saying, oh, does it mean that all the fight they are fighting all this while, it is not a fight then? These are idiots. These are idiots that knows nothing about freedom fighting. They have not brought anything to the freedom, to the struggle. They have never contributed anything. Many of them do not even believe. But today, they are advisors. They are the one telling you, oh, why is it that you are starting the fight now? So the fight that is happening, what about it? Yes, you don't tell us how to fight. If you think you have advice to give, you come into the system, the door is open for you. Come and tell us what you got. But we have a template that must not be altered. That template is that we will continue to delegitimize Nigeria until December. That template is that all the terrorist forces that is representing Nigeria in Biafra land will continue to kiss the dust. Till, even if it is one person that is remaining, if that one person doesn't leave, we will continue to follow that one person until it kiss the dust, and then the Biafra government will take charge completely. My fellow Biafrans, our template is very, very clear. We have fought war, very, very brutal war that supervised the death of millions of Biafrans. Now we have learned our lesson, and we also study Nigeria, how to dismantle this Nigeria, evil Nigeria, and that's exactly the pattern we are applying in this fight. And believe me, Nigeria will never ever survive this after 2nd of December. Nobody will listen to what we have done and see what we have done so far and ignored over 50 million votes.